This is the LEGO Star Wars 2025 Acclamator-Class Assault Ship, set number 75404 with 450 pieces. It's got a retail price of $50. It's part of the Starship Collection, formerly known as MIDI Scale, and I do think this is one of the weirdest sets for LEGO Star Wars to release in 2025. Some of you guys might know what I'm getting at. If you don't, I'll explain exactly why later in the video. The box art for this one, art really not being a great term here, is the Black Void, as this one is an 18+ branded adult set, and the most important thing we need to check though is whether or not they use the Imperial logo. Nope, it looks like they've got the correct Republic logo on this one, so that's already trending in the right direction for this set. Where we might not be trending in the right direction though is on the back of the box, where they show off the measurements and a different angle of the ship, and you start to get the idea that this thing might not be very big for $50. I do, however, like the picture that they used from Attack of the Clones. I just think that one looks cool there. Anyway, let's open up this box and see if it's worth $50. Now inside of here, I found 4 numbered bags, and surprisingly, there was no sticker sheet. And that's not because it's missing. That's because all the parts in this set are printed, so that's exciting. And then the instructions also look very nice. There's a nice write-up about the Acclamator at the beginning of the instructions, and then they do spoil the Easter egg within the instructions, or at least explain it. Spoil might not be the right word. I mean, you're seeing it there for the first time anyway. They're just explaining what you're seeing. So that's there too, and it mentions the Geonosis Arena. So I guess that's neat. The Acclamator's display stand has the same basic design as the other recent Starship Collection sets, and that's what we like to see, the continuity, so that all of the displays look nice next to each other. It does use grow pieces to break up the otherwise all black design, and I think they look nice. They also cover up studs that could be used to hold a minifigure, and that's what I think a lot of people wish were included in these MIDI scale sets. As far as the printed display plaque on the front, you've got the LEGO Star Wars logo, the name of the ship. It looks great as always. Now the stand attaches to the ship very easily, just with some studs. It's not like a super strong connection, but I think it's more than good enough. You just should not hold it by its stand on its own because it could break off. It really shouldn't surprise anyone, but the Acclamator here is absolutely gorgeous. Sure, $50 feels a bit much for this, and we'll show it next to some of the other MIDI scale sets in a minute, but this thing is like near perfect, and it's got printed parts, which I was worried were stickers. So you've got the Republic logo here, as well as the 4 red lines represented. There is technically half of a fifth that is missing, so it is slightly inaccurate in that way, but I would say to the best of their ability with the pieces, because you can't print, or at least they don't print on those wedge-shaped pieces, and they don't put stickers on them. This is as accurate as it could have been, and I think it looks great. The big benefits of using the prints versus the stickers, obviously one, quality, just makes it feel like you're getting more for your money at $50, but also you don't end up with the stupidly mismatched gray colors, so it's just the same light gray going from piece to piece on top of this Acclamator, and that is something that on the UCS Venator, a $650 set, is a huge problem. It looks atrocious on there, but on this set, it's beautiful. Looking at the middle section of this one though, the red stripe or paint job in the middle, I think it looks really good. Just very accurate sizing and shaping for it. And then I kind of discovered what I feel like is the weakest point on this Acclamator build, and it's this piece up here in the middle. Like, it feels like it can just get dislodged a little bit too easily for me, and it's something that can fall off. So when you're handling this one, just be aware of that. This whole area leading up to and into the bridge looks very good. The bridge is very accurate, especially for the scale. You've even got the little tail at the back, even though maybe it's a little bit too long, but yeah, I still think the whole thing there looks great. And then you've got the large tail at the back of the Acclamator, which also looks very good, very detailed, and the engines on this thing are just about perfect. They've got the proper 2 engines on each side, and they've got that translucent blue thrust coming out. I think it looks very nice and definitely adds a nice splash of color to the back of your Acclamator. The shaping for the underbelly also feels like a highlight to me. They used a lot of great pieces to accomplish a very accurate look. And then the Easter egg. So obviously we saw it in the instruction manual, but you can actually pull the panels down and you can see your clones and Republic gunships inside of the Acclamator. So you can kind of access the Easter egg, even though I thought once this set was built and put together, you'd never actually be able to see it. But it's a somewhat realistic function of the entire hangar doors dropping down and allowing the clones to walk out. Obviously, in this micro scale, you won't be reenacting that, but I just like that it's there. Squeezing the Acclamator between the Super Star Destroyer and the Invisible Hand will help me describe the 2 issues that this set faces for many fans wanting to buy it for $50. First off, off, it isn't a Venator. And I think most people wanted a Venator because 2025 is the Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary. And of course, last year we got the Invisible Hand as a MIDI scale set. And so many people just thought that it would make a great pairing. And anyone that thought that is absolutely correct. And it's still a nice pairing. You can still put this Acclamator next to the Invisible Hand and have a good pair of prequel MIDI scale sets, but it's not the perfect pairing that we could have had. That's like a set choice problem. That really shouldn't affect how anyone views how great this set is. What might affect how you view it, though, is the price, $50. And I think when you put it between these two sets, the Invisible Hand's still pertinent here at $50 as well. You can see why $50 is too much. I know the Super Star Destroyer isn't quite as wide as the Acclamator, but that thing puts it to shame. For only $20 more, this build looks huge in comparison to the Acclamator. So I think that's a good example. And then the Invisible Hand is also $50, and it just feels like it's more worth the money for the price. The big downside with the Invisible Hand was that the details on it were stickers, and these ones, of course, are printed. So again, I appreciate the highest possible quality on this Acclamator, and that is something that makes me almost feel like it's worth $50, but then you put it next to that, which is only $20 more, and you're like, yeah, that's got to be 40 or 45, and 50 is just too high. That being said, I kind of subscribe to the theory of, you know, if you're going to make it overpriced, at least make it perfect, and LEGO made it perfect, so there's really no complaints about the design and the quality of the model. It just comes down to whether or not you subjectively think it's worth $50 or not. And I don't think you can be unhappy buying it, because there's nothing wrong with it, other than maybe you spent $10 too much, because the other models are maybe more worth the money than the one in the middle is. I like this Acclamator-Class Assault Ship a lot, and I'm not a guy that feels like MIDI scale sets need minifigures, and so I feel like this is a perfect set. Everything in the box is as good as you could ever imagine it could be for this Acclamator-Class Assault Ship, except the price, which is not in the box. So I feel like the set's perfect, the price is questionable, and at that, if you get this on sale, 20% off for $40, what do you like? That's perfect. If $40 is perfect. So I'm gonna give this set a 9.5 out of 10. Hopefully we get more Republic Fleet ships for the Starship Collection in the future. But yeah, this was definitely a cool, unexpected set for 2025. Leave a like if you guys enjoy, and you can check out more 2025 LEGO Star Wars set reviews on the end screen now.